Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have is the Kurosaki Raijin Gyuto 210mm knife. So these are constructed with 3 layers, and the core cutting edge steel, they're not divulging the actual type. They're saying it's cobalt stainless, and so the heat treat's about 63 Rockwell on that. So this should be probably a powdered metallurgy, full stainless steel. It should take a really nice edge. If you've got decent stones, it shouldn't be too hard to sharpen. Kind of a good balance there, but I think it'd have really nice edge retention and fine grain and probably take a very nice edge. The cladding on either side of that hard core steel for that 3-layer construction is soft stainless, so it's an all stainless blade, and obviously there's a very, very interesting pattern that Kurosaki-san puts on these. He's come up with some cool, really neat looking kind of dynamic patterns for these knives that he's putting out. The weight and dimensions can vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 147 grams or 5.2 ounces, so pretty light for a 210 Gyuto. The edge length is about 212 millimeters or 8.3 inches on this one, and the overall length about 360 millimeters. Thickness-wise, this one is a little thicker than some coming out of the handle. It's about 3.1 millimeters at the back, but then thins down nicely pretty quickly, and about halfway down I got 1.9, and then pretty much just holds that until you get to the pretty generous grind. You can see how high that grind is, and so what happens is you get a nice distal taper in that last couple inches all the way down to a very, very thin tip. These are high performance, kind of laser performance knives with a little bit of backbone to them, so very thin tip that'll just go through stuff like onions, for example, and thin at the edge. So the performance on these is going to be excellent. So that's a thin edge, folks. Quite. The blade height's about 47 millimeters at the back, and what that does is give you plenty of room for a pinch grip. You've got a fairly thin neck right here, a generous curve, kind of a forward sweeping chin over here, which is the back of the heel, and then into the neck. So you got loads of clearance there for your fingers, for your cutting board clearance. The handle is just a good basic octagonal rosewood with a black packawood ferrule, and nice fit and finish on these. Great glue up, very tight glue up job where the tang goes in, as is per the standard for his knives. Circumference on the handle is about 72, 73 millimeters right here where the two materials meet. And the balance point with that particular handle being a little bit heavier wood is going to bring that balance point about right there on this blade, which for me, just a touch behind my pinch grip where I pinch the knife. So that means it's going to be pretty neutral on a pinch grip for most people probably. Let's get our beauty shot going here. So really good fit and finish, clean grind, straight blades as is per the norm from this maker. So very interesting kind of dynamic pattern on these, and then you can see there's some laser engraved kanji on top of that. It's a little hard to kind of make it out with the lighting here, but it is definitely there. And then the blade grind down to the edge. So here's the left side of the blade. And then this on this side usually it's a little bit easier for me to show you the cladding line. So there's the cladding line between where the cladding gives way to the core steel at the edge. Again, all stainless blade. Nice fit and finish on the spine with a little bit of relief on the corners of that. Also attention to detail on the choil into the neck, so it's comfortable for your fingers, no sharp edges, and a good solid 6, maybe 7 out of 10 edge on these out of the box, so you can just pull them out and start working. Let's see here. Let's look at the cutting board profile. This is just another solid line of knives from Kurosaki-san. And here we go. Good all-around edge profile. Each knife can be slightly different, but this will give you a general idea of what the style of this maker is. So just kind of a good general all-purpose profile. A little bit of belly towards the tip. Not a ton, but you've got enough to get pretty high on a rock, so this will rock really nicely. There's not like a true flat. It doesn't like flow into a heel stop or anything, but you could definitely do some chopping towards the back half. But this thing will glide cut, push pull cut, really nice, and definitely do some rocking as well. So if you like to chop a ton, maybe this particular blade's not your cup of tea, but you could do some chopping towards the back. But just an all-around very nice package, all stainless, high performance, super interesting look to it, quite unique over most other knife lines. And so there you have a really good package. This is the Kurosaki Raijin Gyuto 210mm knife.